so I'm here today with my July wrap up and August TBR video. For those of you who are new to the channel or new to this kind of video, a wrap up is where you talk about everything that you have read during the month, and a TBR is everything that you plan to read. So this is everything I read in July and everything I hope to read in August. To be totally honest with you, July was not particularly successful for reading. This month I have been attempting to read the final, so far, Game of Thrones book, A Dance with Dragons, and that has 2 parts, and each part is at least 500-600 pages, so I've been dipping in and out of that a lot. And I love Game of Thrones, so that kind of has taken up all of my reading time at the moment. However, I set myself the target last month of reading 4 books and then trying to read as much of A Dance with Dragons as possible, and out of those 4 books I actually read 3 and then I read an extra book as well, so I did achieve pretty much like most of what I wanted to achieve this month anyway, so I will get into what I read. The first thing that I read in July is The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. I had read quite a lot of this at the end of June, but I finished it in July. I just sat down and forced myself to plough through to the end. I gave this book 4 stars. I can definitely see why people call it a modern classic. But for some reason it just didn't appeal to me the way I thought it would. The next book that I read this month is The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, or Salinger, I'm not sure. Again, this is another one that's considered a modern classic, and with this one I can definitely see why. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I feel like you go on a journey with the character. It was just absolutely brilliant. I gave this 5 stars. Then I read Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, and I have this cute little 50th anniversary version. This book, I just absolutely adored it. 5 stars every single time. I had read a lot of it from when I was younger, but reading it as an adult I feel like you get a totally different perspective on it, and everything just sort of makes sense, everything clicked, I finally understood. It was just absolutely amazing. I really didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did. I ploughed through it in about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. I just loved it, so 5 stars. So those were 3 of the books that I had on my TBR last month, and I managed to read them all, so I'm super excited about that. And then I read one that wasn't on my TBR, but I picked it up in a charity shop and just couldn't wait to read it, and that is The Silver Linings Playbook by Matthew Quick. Now, I know that it's like sin, but I watched the film of this before I read the book. When I watched the film I wasn't even aware that it was a book, so I was so glad to finally get hold of a paper copy of this and actually read it. This book had me cracking up laughing and crying with sympathy for the characters. I just thought it was stunning. I really did. Absolutely amazing. I hate to say it again, but 5 stars for this again. Honestly, this month has been a good reading month for reading books that I enjoyed, because this one, To Kill a Mockingbird, and The Catcher in the Rye, stunning. Absolutely loved them all. I want to keep this quite short, so I'm going to zoom straight into my August TBR. I think I might have said July TBR earlier. That was my July wrap up. That's everything I read in July. This is my August TBR. The first one is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. The Kite Runner. This was on my July TBR. I didn't get around to reading it. I did try. I tried about 5 times to pick up this book. I just cannot get into it. Then we have The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer, which I picked up in a charity shop for £2. Again, I've heard wonderful things about this book, so super excited to read this. Definitely on my August TBR. We have The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of the Window and Disappeared by Jonas Jonasson. Again, I picked this up in a charity shop for £2. I've heard amazing things about this book. Everyone has said it's absolutely brilliant. I just can't wait. I really want to pick this book up. I can't wait to read it, and I've heard such brilliant things. Like I said, it was in my haul video and everyone who mentioned it said that it was amazing. So yeah, cannot wait. Obviously, the same as last month, I will also be trying to finish A Dance with Dragons, even though I completely spoilt myself because I thought I'd finished A Dance with Dragons Part 1 and I started reading A Dance with Dragons Part 2. Turns out I had not completely finished A Dance with Dragons Part 1. I've completely spoilt myself on the story, so it's meant I'm not as keen to read the rest of the first book. But I'm going to finish it, even though I have a lot of dissertation work to do and I should probably be doing that instead. Yeah. Those are all of the books that I read in July and all of the books that I hope to read in August. As you can see, I set myself quite low targets because I know that I don't tend to read that much when I have other things going on, and I don't want to have a massive TBR pile and then feel really sad when I don't read them all. So yeah. That is everything. I hope you're having a wonderful day and I'll see you next time. Bye!